Hello, Princess, from the mobile isolation chamber, because yes, I might have it. Might have it? What do you mean? Well, that's an interesting question, and we will talk about that later, meaning not today. At some point in the future, we will get into that. But, yeah, a couple days ago, I tested positive for the coof. And that means that right now, I am driving through beautiful Coconut Grove instead of... Well, right now I would be, where would I be? Well, today is, let's see, what is today? Today is Sunday, and I would be in, yes, I would be in Liseberg, in Gothenburg, Sweden. So, here I am. All right, lots to, well, not really lots to talk about. It's just a curious experience, but, oh well, you know what, we'll make the best of it. It is a beautifully bright morning here in Miami, although the forecast is for the cloud cover to increase later, and the cyclists are out being kinda sorta one. This doesn't really bother me. In fact, my biggest gripe here is, well, of course, with the government, and this street is wide enough to accommodate everybody much better, but well, yeah, city planners, street planners, road engineers, they're just not smart enough to do that, so we all suffer. Oh boy, yes, I'm gonna turn a coof video into another anti-government rant because, well, it's all true, right? All right, first up, I feel fine. In fact, I don't really feel any different now than I would on any other given day. And if not for the test, I wouldn't even suspect having had anything. So one of those situations, well, you know what? The crazy part is, there are a couple of places where I could have picked it up, and both are, let's just say, well, you know what? They are the likely places because, well, they're kind of where the sick people go, doctor's offices, trying to get a few things just out of the way, just normal routine stuff, nothing really worth even mentioning. But yeah, that's the only thing. Now, I will say that when I was in these offices, if I was asked to follow certain other protocols, I did, and well, here we are. Okay, let's see, what are we, wait, which way are we gonna go? That's a good question. All right, we'll be back. I chose the Brickell route for no particular reason. Last couple of times, I've taken South Miami Avenue, so I thought, well, let's just do something a smidge different, and actually that's pretty good because it does give me an opportunity to head someplace that I haven't been in, well, last couple of drives, not really a big deal. Oh, okay, stoplight. So what does this ultimately mean? Well, not a whole lot, but it does mean I had to cancel my trip to Europe, which most people should not be upset about. It also means I had to cancel my Baltic cruise, which, for, well, various reasons, I'm not terribly upset about either. We talked about this before, and this is the Baltic cruise that was ruined by Joe Biden's feckless and weak leadership in letting the world burn down, which caused St. Petersburg to be canceled as a port of call. And that was kind of half the reason to go on this particular itinerary. So without that, I kind of didn't want to go. And I actually felt a little bit, I don't know, resentful toward the cruise line over the last couple of months for not letting us cancel. And just, I would take a credit, that's fine. I have more cruises planned in the future. I certainly wouldn't, well, I would use the money, basically. So they wouldn't be out the money. But anyway, so finally, you know, I ended up making all these plans. And, well, now they're all canceled. Which is why, Princess, always get travel insurance, even if you think you're not going to need it. And nobody ever thinks they need it, by the way. And that's actually a good thing. I have never needed it before. And even in this case, the only thing that I don't think I will be able to get refunded is one internal flight on, of course, Ryanair. But, well, even if it's somehow not a coverable loss, it is. I checked all the documentation. $70. So I'm not going to cry. And yeah, so I am not going to Europe. Yay! But what does that mean? So actually not much, because okay, fine. We tested positive for COOF. You need to stay home for 5 days and then precautions for another 5 days. Well, yeah, I work at home anyway. I rarely see people, so that's not a huge thing. But, well, there are a couple of downsides to this. Okay, I don't want to sit here too long. Well, it's perfectly fine. I'm not really parked, but I'm going to keep going. Let's cross the Brickell Avenue Bridge over the Miami River, a source of constant frustration to our politicians and traffic and road engineers due to the fact that it has to open to let ships through, and it does cause traffic. But again, there are so many creative solutions to this, and they keep whining about it, and they've been doing it for decades, actually. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to not have actually tried anything. And you know what? During this isolation period, whatever, I might actually talk about that a little bit, because I do have a couple of creative solutions to this, and they're not that hard. But again, traffic engineers. All right, well, I know if you can't guess one of our destinations, well, maybe pay attention. Look a little bit closer. In case I wasn't very clear about something, I just want to state even more clearly that I followed every protocol I was asked to, and I still tested positive. So, yeah, my lived experience. Yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes, okay, so fine, I canceled the trip that I didn't really want to go on, but it's now more problems because there's so many things to unwind. All the things I bought, all the extras that, I had to get, just because it is a larger trip, and now I have to unpack and unwind and get refunds or submit claims and all this kind of stuff. So it's just, now it's causing more problems for me to deal with, and that's, it seems that's what life has become, a series of problems to deal with. Experiences, positive experiences, are few and far between. And I know I've talked about this before, but it seems like everywhere you look, there's a bunch of nitwit bureaucrats whose sole purpose in life seems to be creating problems that we have to deal with. So, I don't know. Anyway, the advice. So yes, I am doing the 5-day isolation because it's not really a change in my routine, other than actually, yes, I'm doing this week's Sunday drive by myself. Yeah, Grandma stayed home, so it's just me here in my mobile isolation chamber, Miss Liberty 2. So that is one change, but other than that, 5 days of isolation is pretty routine, and I know that sounds incredibly sad and pathetic, and I really should do something about that. Okay, so, well, maybe some good will come out of this. Either way. Another issue. I was prepared, and my pantry is prepared for a 2-week absence. So I have no fresh food at home. I have no vegetables, no milk or cheese or anything like that. Just my bug out provisions down in the cellar, which I don't have. I definitely do not have a bomb shelter or anything like that. So yeah, no, definitely not. So now I don't know what to do, because the guidance for this, well, let's just say it was written by low competence people, for people who are not inclined to question things. You know what? I'll just put it to you that way, because when I read it, it actually creates more questions than answers in terms of how exactly is this supposed to work? What can you do? What can't you do? And well, that's just the consequence of being a high-functioning, high-experience, let's just say high-perspective type of person. They write this guidance from their own limited, very, very limited perspective, targeting an audience that I guess they presume is like them, also with very limited capabilities, and more problems to deal with. So at some point, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get some, well, better food. Carnival Horizon, there in the background with an intact whale tail, is disembarking right now. A lot of crowds. They changed the traffic pattern. There is no Royal Caribbean ship in port today, so that part of the terminal, or the cruise terminal, was closed off. Never seen that before. Well, I don't think we've been here when there's been no Royal Caribbean ship in port. Now, normally we do this in the late afternoon after embarkation, when there is no traffic, no one around. Everybody's on board, and they're just battening down the hatches, preparing for departure. And it's not really so much of a problem. Although I am very happy to see Scarlet Lady is in port today. Her schedule actually doesn't have her here on most weekends, so I have not seen her in quite some time. And, well, they're probably still in disembarkation too. Anyway, yeah, this is our Sunday drive routine. Well, part of it, coming by the port to see the cruise ships before they leave. And, well, yeah, like I said, no change in my routine, except I'm solo this time, and Grandma's at home. But, So what does this mean going forward? Well, a couple things. One, I'm up to date on some other rules around this, and in a couple of weeks, I might go and get a PCR test, because that can be used as the proof of recovery, which means for, I believe, 90 days here in the US, if you do have the proof of recovery, you do not need to submit a test before boarding a cruise ship. So that will be actually pretty useful for me. It's in the rules, and if it's something I can take advantage of, then yeah, I think I will do that. However, even more important, this experience makes me even more adamant that all of these protocols need to end. It is time for them to end. Right now, I would not know. I wouldn't even suspect I had anything if not for the test. So the only evidence I have is the test. So I don't know. Yes, one of those cases. And the thing is, this has been just an entirely frustrating experience for me. Again, bureaucrats whose lives exist to frustrate people and cause problems. You know, if there were no protocols, I would have flown over there, boarded the cruise ship, and had a grand old time, and that would be the end of it. And it's definitely time to end all of this, because what benefit really is it creating? Oh my God! But you might have. Well, see, the problem is you can't look at things like this in isolation. And I am looking at it in isolation, but that's not what I mean. You know, again, these bureaucrats, they have such a narrow field of view, you know, when it comes to their thought processes that, you know, well, why aren't we tested for influenza? Why aren't we tested for noro? I didn't even know if there's a test for that. Why aren't we tested for a whole bunch of other things before boarding a cruise ship that were problems long before this? So, yeah, again, like I said, this experience just makes me even more adamant that it's time for all of this nonsense to end. And it cannot come fast enough. The way things are going, by the way, it might be the case that by the time I am ready for my next 2 cruises, at least the 2 that I have booked now, maybe things will change. I mean, the dam is already breaking. One cruise line has already announced they are ending the pre-cruise test requirements, and hopefully everyone will follow suit soon enough. I think, well, you know what? I think we just need someone to sue the CDC again, because, well, they keep losing because they have nothing to stand on. If that's what it takes, then let's make that happen. All right, yeah, let's just continue our drive, and got maybe a couple more things to talk about, and then I gotta think about lunch. Man, because this food situation, I know, was not prepared for this. Well, we have a slightly better view of some of these ships in port. That there is Scarlet Lady, very fun. We'll be back. Next to her is the good old Explorer of the Seas. She's doing 6 and 8 night itineraries out of Miami now, and then well, down the way a little bit. Can't really see. Maybe we'll definitely get a little bit closer. There's the Carnival Horizon, a ship and a class of ship that I have not yet sailed on, and up ahead is Norwegian Breakaway, a ship that I was going to sail on back in November, but they decided to implement new protocols, which I didn't really want to bother with, so I was able to cancel and get another credit and move that, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I think eventually we'll get a chance to give this one a try. Not this time. Well, you know, it wasn't meant to be. I'll just put it that way. But there she is, another beautiful ship. I'm driving up Alton Road in a loop around the beach. I guess the inner loop around the beach. It is still, well, it's what used to be Pride Month, so I am not going anywhere near the beach side, just in case there's a parade or something today. I don't want to get caught up in all that new nonsense. Anyway, the one thing that I thought of that I forgot to mention earlier, and that's I will be able to use a couple of other travel certificates that I almost had to give up. That will be in, well, 8 days from now. So I will be doing a post-isolation staycation celebration. So I do have something to look forward to. And I just saw a guy with a shirt that said, Black Fathers Matter. Oh, yes, they do, and they do very much indeed. So good on you, good sir. I am still heading north on Alton. I think I'm going to drive back on 79th Street and just see if there's any action at the boat ramp. Something I used to do a lot. I would walk or ride over to the Matheson boat my wish, boat ramp, and watch the drama ensuing at the end of the day when all these guys are trying to get the boat back on the trailer and out of the water after spending a day out on the water doing who knows what. All right, so yeah, let's head up to 79th Street and see what's going on over there. Haven't done that in a while. Yes, it is a beautiful day, and that means, well, the boat ramp is closed. I did turn around to come back and see, because sometimes they will let you in if you don't have a trailer, because you won't be using the boat ramp, but apparently that is not the case today. Well, plans scrubbed, and not happening because I guess, oh, wait a minute, hold on, how did he get in there? Ooh, that's a good question. Anyway, well, plans scrubbed because, well, the government cannot plan for anything. I guess let this video be a reminder that even though I drive an electric car, Joe Biden is making life miserable for everybody. Yeah, let's head back to the palace and figure out that lunch situation. Very disappointed that I could not stop at the boat ramp and see what's going on, but that's quite all right. There'll be plenty of times to do that later. Well, that's the situation. Yeah, I tested positive and had to cancel my Baltic cruise and flight and my visits to theme parks and everything. And, you know, I don't know. Like I said, wasn't really looking forward to this trip because of the change in itinerary. So, believe it or not, Princess, even for me, a positive COOF test is another huge reason to be so very thankful for my problems.